Hi everyone, today I will be teaching you recipe costing for 5 different menu items. So to begin, we must first figure out how many portions how much do we actually need of each item for 165 portions. So right now we have given the portion size for 1. So in order to quantify this, we will take the portion size for 1 and multiply it by 165. So let's get that started here. So we'll press equal sign, 1, press multiply, and then press 165. Now what we'll be doing now is something called absolute cell referencing, which basically tells Excel to take each unit and multiply by 165 because that is the number of portion that we are amounting for. So we can do this by pressing F4 on our device and then we'll hit enter. So once that has been embedded into Excel, we can just drag this down and our numbers will show up here. So the next thing to do is figure out how much does it cost for 165 portions. So to do this, what we will be doing is first of all, taking our price per unit, which is $19.50 for Jasmine tea. Hit enter equal sign, of course. And then the next thing to do is figure out what is the total number of cups per for the total number of units. And the way we do this is by multiplying 5 by 140. This means that for every 5 packages, there's 140 cups or bags, and that will give us a total of 700. So we will be dividing 1950 by 700. And then we will be multiplying by the amount, which is 165. And then we'll hit enter. And that will give us 460. In order to make sure that we're doing this correctly, we have to match it with our handwritten calculations down here. And as you can see, for Jasmine tea, we have 460, and that's correct. Now let's move on to the next one. So similarly, we will take our price per unit and divide that. This time, we will be taking the number of units 6 and multiplying it by 600 grams because there are 600 grams per unit. So that will give us a total of 3,600, and that's what we're going to be multiplying it, dividing it, then 3565 by. Then we will multiply it by our amount that we need, which is 74.25, and then we'll hit enter. And that gives us $73.50. And that is correct because it matches our handwritten calculations down here. Next, we have canned Spam. So again, we'll hit equal sign, click on 5850, and divide that. This time, we'll be doing that by 12.25. Because we take the number of units and multiply that by how much we have per unit, and that is 1.75, so after multiplying that gives us 12.25. And now we can multiply it by our amount, which is 9,900. Now you see here, both of these units are different because one is kg and one is grams. So our calculation, if we just hit enter right now, would be incorrect. So in order to make sure we have the same units, what we're going to do is convert the grams into kilograms by dividing by 1,000. And that will give us 47.28. Similarly, we have a similar process for diced peaches. So we will take 27.25, and this time we're going to divide it by 600. How did we get this? We took the number of units, which is 6, multiplied by 100 ounces each, and that gave us 600. And then we're going to multiply that by our amount, which is 24,750. And again, here we have 2 different units, milliliters here and ounces here. So this time we're going to convert milliliters into ounces by dividing it by 28.4. Now we can hit enter and we'll get 39.58. Is that correct? Yes, according to our handwriting calculations. Last but not least, we have turkey. So because meat comes in varying as answers, we actually have 3 different ways of solving this. So the first way, and all 3 ways actually start off the same. We're going to take the price per unit and divide it by the unit, which is 11 kg. So we would take 72.45 divide that by 11, and then we're going to multiply it by, now here's where the conversion comes in. So we have here ounces, we have here kg, and we're trying to amount in ounces. So in order to do this, what we will be doing is taking our 990, multiplying it by 28.4. That will give us, that will convert into grams, and then from grams we're going to divide it by 1,000 to get it into kg, to convert it into kg. So just as I said before, we're going to put that into our Excel. So we take 990, multiply that by 28.4, and then divide that by 1,000 down here, and we should get $185.18. And yes, we got it. Now let's move on to the next way. So again, we will take the 72.45, divide that by 11, and then multiply that by, so this time what we're going to do is convert from ounces to lb, and then from lb to kg. So we're going to take 990, divide it by 16, and then divide it again by 2.2. Close bracket, hit enter, and we get $185.24, which matches our second way down here on our handwritten calculations. Last but not least, we have the third way, which is going from ounces to lb to kg to grams, and then from grams to kg. So once again, same process. In the beginning, we take our price per unit, divide it by our amount per unit, which is 11, and then multiply that by 990. Then we're going to multiply that again by 454. We're going in a straight line as always. Always multiply everything first and then divide everything after everything at the end. So once we did that, multiplied it by 454, we're going to divide it by 16, as you can see down here, and divide it once again by 1,000. So the process here is going from ounces to lb, which is by dividing it by 16, and then from ounces to grams by multiplying it by 454, and then from grams to kilograms by dividing it by 1,000. Now let's close our bracket and hit enter, and we get $185.02, and that matches up our handwritten calculations down here. Now let's move on to costing for one. So before we cost it for 165, now we're going to cost per one. So the way we do this is we're going to press an equal sign, and we're going to take our jasmine tea, which is $4.60, and divide that by 165. And because we want all of them to divide by 165, all of the other units, as we did before for this column right here, column I, you guessed it, we're going to do absolute cell referencing. So we're just going to hit F4 on our key. And because Excel doesn't always get our numbers right, we want to make sure we round it to 2 decimal places. So what we do is we're going to go into our address bar up here, type in ROU, we're going to get round, double click on this, and the formula will be embedded. Then we're going to put a comma and put in 2 because we wanted to round to 2 digits. Then close bracket and hit enter. Now we get $0.30. Next thing we know is we're just going to bring it down here, and the formula gets embedded throughout all of the menu items. Next, we are going to cost for 290. So same as before, we're going to press equal sign, take our 0.03 and multiply that by 290. So because we knew how much we have for 1, the rest is pretty simple because we just multiply it by whatever we're costing for. So in this case, for column M, we're costing for 290. So the next step is to enable absolute cell referencing for M3. And then of course, we're going to have to also do the round here to make sure Excel reads the right numbers. So we're going to embed that. Make sure it rounds to 2 decimals. So we're going to do comma 2, close bracket, hit enter, and we got $8.07. So last but not least, we're just going to drag it down. Now, the last column that we have left here is to cost for 675. So same as before, we're going to take our L, and then we're going to multiply it by 675. Enable absolute cell referencing for N3, which is 675, and then going to the address bar up here, click on round. After the formula, we're going to put comma 2, close bracket, hit enter, and we got $20.25. And last but not least, we're just going to drag it down. And that's it. We have now recipe costed for all 5 items. Thank you so much for listening. But as you can see here, for both of these columns, Excel hasn't shown 2 decimals. So what we're actually going to do is remove the 2 here, starting with column N, and see if that changes anything for us. Yes, it has. So now we're going to drag this down. And yep, we got it. Now Excel has shown that the prices along with just 2 decimals. That's exactly what we're looking for. And now we're going to do the same for M. So we're going to go into this one right here. In this cell, we're going to go to the address bar, remove the bracket and round. And we're also going to remove the 2 and the comma. The remaining bracket that we had, press enter. We got $8.70. So that makes a huge difference. It's not 7 cents. I think I mentioned that before. And we're just going to drag this down. And that updates all of our numbers. And now we're finally done. Thank you so much for listening.